Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of V-Gaming with me, the host, the Saverings. Join me on the X/Twitters and join me on the Steam group, both of V-Gaming. Once we get to 100 subs, which we're only one away, so if you're not subbed, just go ahead and click that. We can get this give this game giveaway a kickoff. You have a pretty good chance of winning something out of 100 subs, and maybe only like 40 of them are active at any one given time. So you got like a 1 in 40 chance of winning a game. These aren't just any puny old games either. These are fresh off the Humble Bundle. I already had them in my Steam library collection. There's some good games in there. But anyway, we're going to get into some stuff. Today's video is going to be like how the most... Okay. In this entire Nintendo Switch debacle, it's only proven how good of a bargain how good of a bargain there is in gaming in other places. VG Fight School has been saying this, kind of the gist of his thing, and I agree with him. In certain spots, there's very consumer friendly things. So on one end, you have, let's say Steam, let's say GOG, let's say Xbox and Game Pass, right? That's like your as customer friendly, as customer pro consumer as you're going to get on that, and value for your dollar. On the other end, you've got your loot boxes, your EAs of the world, your PlayStations of the world, and now Nintendo has thrown their hat into that ring. But we're going to get to them. But right now we're going to focus on PlayStation, because PlayStation is the default dumpster fire for this stuff. So Vampire Survivors, PlayStation legal issue delays Vampire Survivors cross save on PS4 and PS5. So the versions of the consoles and whatever, like you pay to play online, and then you can't get your cross save. So basically you're paying more or the same amount of money as you would owning this game on any other platform for fewer features. For fewer features. This is being reported by Eurogamer. Let's just have a look, see, shall we? By Victoria Kennedy. Vampire Survivors' previously announced cross-save feature will not be launching on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 at the same time as other platforms due to a legal issue. Wink, wink. And VG, I know you've been talking about Wukong, and you've been dunking on Sony for their third-party money hatting. You're the person who I first heard say money hatting. Now everyone's saying money hatting, so that's good on you. But I would say this has probably something to do with the game coming to PlayStation anyway, because the game's on PC, the game's on Steam, the game's on their own launcher, the game's on mobile, and the game's on Xbox. No problems there. Could the difference be something strange in Sony's contracts? Like maybe Sony helped them put their game on the platform. When Sony ends up helping you put your game anywhere, suddenly your game isn't on anything else but PlayStation and maybe PC if it's a live service game. But here's Vampire Survivors across the board, Xbox and PC as cross save. But for some reason, the PlayStation version does not. Interesting, isn't it not? Isn't it? So let's keep reading. Writing on social media, developer Ponkel said the team had run into an issue last minute, which, quote, requires us to share info on our partners that we're unable to. So for some reason, the PlayStation version requires you to share info on your other partners. Okay? As such, the chances of cross-saving coming to PlayStation console are now very slim. But while the chances are slim, they are not impossible, the Vampire Survivors developer continued, stating it is going to keep working with PlayStation to get the issue sorted. Not with Xbox, not with Steam, not with the old PC platform in general, not with the mobile version, just PlayStation. We're so sorry to build up any anticipation for this feature on PlayStation, only to change plans at the last minute, Ponko wrote before checking. So you're making your own partners on your platform look silly with your whatever rules or whatever you have over there, Sony. You're making your own version of your game worth less than the other versions because you're missing a key feature. Okay? For anyone wanting cross saves just to unlock trophies, it's worth noting that PlayStation trophies are automatically disabled on a platform level for all games when using a game style from another platform. Wow, so you can't even... Okay, but doesn't that kind of happen anyway, though? As for other platforms, cross saves will be coming to Vampire Survivors via PC, Xbox, and mobile devices in coming weeks. It will then arrive for those playing on Nintendo Switch at an unspecified later date, as well as Apple Arcade, if the developers can do so without breaching any privacy commitments. So Apple's goofy like that too. Shocking. Here's the original tweet. At last night's BAFTAs, Vampire Survivors are deemed the best evolving game, winning out against Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 14. Final Fantasy 14 stalled a little bit with Dawn Trail just because Dawn Trail isn't Shadowbringers and Endwalker. Shadowbringers and Endwalker set the bar so high. And that's to say nothing of Stormblood, which is still excellent. I missed the Stormblood expansion. And Heavensward was just... Mwah. If you have not played Final Fantasy 14, there's no reason not to. There's a free trial, didn't you know? I had the shirt on yesterday. Did you know that the copy pasta is a free trial of Final Fantasy 14, free up to level 70, which includes the best-selling Stormblood expansion with no restrictions on playtime? So you have no excuse. Be forewarned, though, your trial version of it, when you roll it over into a full version, is not compatible with your Steam version or your console versions. Okay? So if you want to play it on an Xbox, if you want to play it on a PlayStation, it just came to Xbox. Even though it was on PlayStation this whole time, it just came to Xbox. I wonder what that's about. You know, it was console exclusive to PlayStation, but it wasn't on Xbox this whole time until recently. I wonder what that's about. Anyway. So yeah, just know that your free trial, it's only compatible with the Square Enix launcher version of that game. You can't buy it on Steam and try to carry it over. The account made on Steam is your account made on Steam. Your account made on Xbox is your account made on Xbox. Your account made on PlayStation, I believe, is your account made on PlayStation. Now, if you have the full version of any of those and you sign into your account on any of those other two, I believe you can do that. It's just the Square Enix version is its own thing, which includes the free trial. So Final Fantasy 14 and No Man's Sky, Sea of Thieves, and World of Warcraft. Wow, Vampire Survivors beat that game. The game previously scooped itself up the best game in 2023, beating out heavy hitters, which included Elden Ring and God of War Ragnarok. It also won the award for game design. Not only that, Vampire Survivors is also getting its own animated TV series. I wonder what will be next. I wonder what will be next. Next or next? Holy crap. Y'all see that, right? NECKS. For this breakout hit that Christian Dolan described as near endless RPG popcorn. It's true, Vampire Survivors is my shit. When I'm not playing Final Fantasy 14 or Baldur's Gate 3, I'm playing Vampire Survivors. Actually, I take that back. When I'm not playing Final Fantasy 14, I'm playing Vampire Survivors. And if I'm not playing those two, I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3. Those are that's like my tier default games that I go down, right? So this is right here is a screen rant reporting more of the rest. So we're going to pause there. What do you guys think about that? First of all, why has Sony traditionally been so trash with indie games? Why are they always the last ones to get them? And when they do, there's always some fuckery going on. Right? And here you have Vampire Survivors, and you guys are just fucking around over there. You're just fucking around over there. Okay. So halftime. We'll go into our next thing. And this is kind of a last minute thing. I've been seeing this and I've talked about this a couple times today, so I figured I'd just throw this in the video. Nintendo pulled an X-Bone. And by that I mean one of the executives was asked, what about a major feature or a major price point of this that's preventing people from wanting to buy it? And Don Maddock over at Xbox originally said, when asked about that by Jeff Knightley, said, we have a product for people that don't want to play online. It's called the Xbox 360. This is when asked about, what about the Xbox One and people that don't want to have an always-on connection? And Don Maddox said, hey, we have a product for that. It's called the Xbox 360. And he smirked smugly at the camera. And Jeff said, so you're telling people to buy a 360 then? And he goes, yep. Okay. So this is his name, Doug Bowser. I don't want to misquote him. Yeah, Nintendo of America President Doug Bowser. You can't make that up. Nintendo of America's president last name is Bowser. Shared a tone-deaf statement that has riled up fans even more. As reported by CBC Canada, he essentially told them to go buy the original Switch if they can't afford the new one. As we look at Nintendo Switch 2 and you think about the feature sets that I talked about, we believe that the pricing is appropriate for the value of the machine and the gameplay experience overall. We recognize that there are some people that may not be able to afford the Nintendo Switch 2 price point. That's why we wanted to make the other Switch platforms available, so people still have an opportunity to come into our gaming universe, be part of these characters in these worlds, and see value, if you will, in whatever rung of the platform they come in. Those with long enough memory have instantly remembered Don Maddox's similar statement. When the Xbox One was facing criticism because of the console's initial mandatory online activity, he famously said, "We have a product for people who aren't able to get some form of activity. It's called Xbox 360. Do you guys also remember the PS3? When, who was that? Who was that was asked about the high point of the PS3? And he said, "We feel it's worth it. We feel it'll be one of those things that people would want to go out and pick up a second job just to get." Now, on the surface, that might not seem like too much, but I'll give you some context. Around the time of that unveil, I was single, living by myself in a tax subsidy apartment, meaning they only charged me up to like a third. It was subsidized, government subsidized housing. And I was working 2 jobs. I worked for the Seattle Housing Authority, and I worked for, what was my second job? I was at the mall. I think I was still working at Suncoast Video when that still existed, right? So I'm working 2 jobs, and I'm sitting on a bus, and I'm watching all the press, and I'm reading all the stuff about the PlayStation 3 unveil on my phone. And I'm wondering how I'm going to afford to pay rent that month. I'm literally contemplating, am I going to buy food or pay rent? Working 2 jobs. I'm on the bus going from my main job to my second job. And I read that statement that said, "Hey, we feel it's worth it and you'll want to go work 2 jobs just to afford it." And I'm working 2 jobs and trying to figure out rent or food. And that fool had the nerve to say that. Let it be known I never owned a PS3. For one, I wasn't impressed with the machine in general, and that statement just crushed it for me. That's when Sony just got straight up arrogant. Sony does that. Actually, they all do it. All companies do it at some point, but Sony's especially known for doing that, and they never learn. So that was the PlayStation Xbox One moment. So yeah. The Nintendo Switch will likely suffer the same fate, without still becoming the fast-selling consoles ever, and even turn more into a primary platform for core gamers. Still, this reveal could have gone a bit more smoothly. That's true. So keep an eye. I'm telling you guys, and I've said it here on the channel before, keep an eye on both this, the Switch 2, and GTA 6. There's potential in both of these launches that this shit is not going to go how you think it's going to go. Yes, they're both going to do well, and they're both going to make a shit ton of money. But it's not going to go how people think it's going to go. There's going to be some hiccup in both of these that's going to be out of the, there are hiccups in games and there is controversy and stuff like that. There's going to be something wholly unique and out of the ordinary with one or both of these things that's going to cause a ripple effect. These 2 things are so influential. You're following up on one of the best-selling, like the second best-selling console of all time. And you're trying to push your $80-$90 meta. And meanwhile, you got GTA 6, which they're for sure going to try and sell for $99.99 for the base version now. And I promise you guys, there's going to be some level of modern day horseshit in it. They're either going to pull punches on some of their humor, which they never done. People play GTAs for the raunchy South Park, The Simpsons, Family Guy, pull no punches type. We shit on everybody humor. They're going to pull the punches. They're going to pull up on some stuff, and it's going to be noticeable. Their investors are going to say, "Hey, we're going to make $1 billion the first day," and they're only going to make $999,998, and their investors are going to freak out. They're going to instantly try to put that shit on PC after trying to get away with it this time. They've done it with all the previous ones. We release on the consoles first. Watch, they're going to come up shorter than expected, and it's going to be because I didn't have a PC. There's going to be something goofy with this shit. There's going to be something goofy with it that we're not expecting that's going to throw a monkey wrench in some shit. Might be a big monkey wrench, might be a little teeny tiny one that only grinds a few gears here and there, but there's going to be some noise, there's going to be some sparks, there's going to be some fucking liquids leaking for both of these, or one of them, or both. So keep an eye on this. What do you guys think in the comments? It's about to be real crazy up in here. All I know is I'm about to like reactivate my Game Pass for like $11 because I want to play South of Midnight and I want to play Expedition 33 on my birthday on the 24th. I gotta file taxes. Oh lordy. Anyway, y'all be good. Hit me up on the Twitter/X and on the Steam group at V-Gaming. Be sure to like and follow and subscribe if you're not already. If you are the one that subscribes, you'll make it an even 100. I will do a game giveaway. I'll announce the winners here on this channel and on the Steam group and on the Twitters. I'll announce it in all the places. But y'all be good. Take care. Peace. Enjoy your gaming.